up? What up? All right, y'all. I just wanted to put this out here. Just a thought I was having, and the answer to the question up there, I think it's I think it's the same for both. And if somebody ain't really familiar with the two individuals, Dr. Umar and Dr. Ali, but just look him up. Look them up, and y'all will be able to see a bunch of information, or you'll be able to see a nice amount of their work on YouTube, the lectures and everything. But what I'm noticing, y'all know how Umar he coming up because I guess he got like a lawsuit or something going on or about to go on. Now I could go into the particulars of it, but that's not really the point of this. Or some of y'all may not like what Dr. Ali like what they mad about like. Well, I've been peeping since he I think charged for his last lecture and up until that lecture, like I was just kind of seeing comments on social media, um, just going in like, he ain't even a real doctor and who is Umar? He ain't a doctor, he ain't a psychologist, and I be hearing I've been reading and seeing a lot of those comments. So what I thought was it was a couple reasons that I kind of came up with to answer that question, and I think they both apply. So into what my thought is, one is white eyes. I know y'all like white eyes. Like, yeah, that's number one answer is white eyes. And then the second answer that I got is a Messiah syndrome. So I'm just about to explain both of those real quick. All right, white eyes. Like when I'm saying white eyes, like what kind of answer is that? Why they mad at Dr. Omar and Dr. Ali? You saying white eyes? Yeah, white eyes. And the reason I'm saying that is this. Many of our people, we tend to look at each other through the eyes of the white man, and saying that, I could give a couple examples of that, but I kind of think y'all know what I'm saying. Like, we'll hold each other to a whole nother standard, or we'll critique each other, real, real in depth. But then when you see how we do with other doctors, I guess, they get a pass. Like ain't nobody white asking about credentials for Dr. Phil, and he got a career worth of giving bad advice, uh, half information, not giving a full story. And he been, making money off of it. Don't nobody ask about that. And then like as far as you know, we tend to when I say we look at each other through the eyes of white folks, or maybe not all white folks, but basically through the eyes of our enemy or our oppressor. When an example of that is like um another example would be we'd be doing business with each other, and then something may not be right. Somebody say like, man, that fish was too salty, or um, you know, they whatever. You don't like it, and so then what sometimes you'll see like that person will be like, man, don't go to that restaurant. They wooty woo. They when I told them I ain't like it, they kind of act like they ain't care, and I pay for my service, and you hear that a lot. And I can respect that. But then a lot of times that same person they go to McDonald's, they'll be getting all kind of poison put in their food. They don't turn around and say nothing to McDonald's. And then if they do have a problem with their order, you don't get to talk to the owner. You get to talk to who they got in place. But like it's kind of ridiculous. Kind of the way we view each other sometimes. Like in a situation that kind of relate to Dr. Ali, like I be noticing a lot of times when they talking about the Kanika Jenkins case, it'd be like, well, she shouldn't have been, and she gotta, and them young guys she was with, and like, man, like, don't nobody even know exactly what happened. And for those that's investigating, they can see like it's multi-layered of what's going on. And Ali, along with a lot of other people who care about what's going on, they exposing a lot of corruption that's going on over there. So, and then in doing that, you'll see people, doing Google searches talking about, well, how is he a doctor? And let me say this real quick. Now, if it's an issue with a man who starts a school, um, and then if that school accredits him a degree, if that man puts in the study, and then when it comes time to giving somebody some information or advice based on that study, if it's solid advice, I wouldn't care, if the university was DePaul or whoever. I mean, some people get too caught up in all them titles a lot of the times, like, and they overlooking the information, and I think we tend to do that when dealing with each other, because you see that again, like with Dr. Umar, like, man, he ain't got no psychology license. Now, what's that got to do with him telling black folks positive information, and making them aware of a system that has been historically working against them? Like, you don't need no psychology license for that. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of times people fall into this, like, well, if this university don't say so, then he shouldn't be saying so. And, man, come on, man, y'all. Them real doctors, what they do? They legally take your organs. And those so-called schools that are, hand out these degrees to these scholars and psychologists, what they do? They prescribe your kids Ritalin. You know what I mean? Like, and just because you see a DR on something, if the white university or white folks don't hand it to you, you like, oh man, you faking, and totally missing the whole message. You know what I mean? Like, I had to point out to a guy earlier, like, one of the greatest scholars of our time. Like, he attended Columbia and New York University, but he ain't graduated from there. He was given a doctorate, like late in life, way after he gave all his lectures. I'm talking about John Henry Clark. I mean, he was one of the greatest. I mean, but ain't nobody turned around talking about, oh man, you ain't no doctor. But if the event that I purchased a ticket to may have on there Dr. John Henry Clark, man, I don't care. Hey, man, what? Me dropping knowledge. Like, and then let me let that go. Like, as far as the white eyes, but I think y'all see what I'm saying, though, as far as, just how we do sometimes with each other. And then the Messiah syndrome. Like, why they mad at Dr. Umar and Dr. Ali? Messiah syndrome. Yeah. And I'm saying that because a lot of times when a person has this syndrome, what they'll do is the person that they are looking at, they kind of expect them to do something that they can't do, or, won't do. Lightweight, they expect them to do something miraculous. And if they're not prepared or able to do that something, they choose not to. Like, okay, cool. But when they looking at the individual that they expecting to do those things, it's like, oh, he the almost, like I said, a messiah. And so then you get under scrutiny, and then these same people, they see some little flaw or something, and then they just overreact on the flaw and just totally miss out on the whole body of work that the individuals done put out. Like, and that's even if it's a flaw. You know what I mean? Like, you I don't know, family. I just wanted to, share them thoughts. Tell me if I'm incorrect, leave a comment or something. But, my opinion, my answer is they mad because, like I said, white ass viewing each other through the eyes of your enemy. You know, gave a couple examples, I guess. I mean, y'all can give some examples of that. I'd like to see. I think y'all on the same page I'm on. But then, like I said, the Messiah syndrome, like kind of like what some black folks had for Obama. Like they almost was like he about to come in here and it say change and he about to, man, come on, y'all. Like the only person that's gonna save you is you. You know what I mean? Like the path you walk is your path. Like now, if you choose to let somebody steer you on your path, that's that's up to you. But like you can't really expect. It may be because I'm older than them cats. You know what I mean? I don't expect them to be or expect my son to go to their school. I didn't need those individuals for that. So you know, maybe because I'm not expecting them to do that, I'm more concerned about the information that they present. And what I do is I fact check everything. And one thing I can say about both of them brothers, they done put out solid information. And some people may not like them. All right, cool. And that tends to happen when you see like you know that field nigga and that house nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes they gon' you say something about the system or that house, they getting it's something that get a little offended. So, I think that's kind of playing into it. You're gonna see that. But for the most part, I'm just saying family, like if you got two brothers, they saying something positive, they telling, the black man to be responsible, the black woman to be strong, they telling the black child to be focused and learn and educate yourself. If they telling them these things, like at the, what else can you ask from a brother? And I understand, like, the money situation when that come up. You know, of course your eyes got to get low when money involved. You supposed to pay attention. But I would, sometimes, like I said, when the white eyes click on and money involved, it's like, hold on, you can't do nothing, you can't do no right sometimes with some black folks. You know what I mean? Like, until like as far as what Umar concerned, until it's shown that he um stole some money, can't return the money, that he's received his donations on that school, until that point, it's I'm calling this speculation. And Dr. Ali, if he charged for a lecture or something and that ruffles some people's feathers, I mean, you know, just on the side note, like I done looked into that Kanika case, and I went to the website, Rosemont's website, and I pretty much read all of the files. And doing that, I realized how much work that takes. And that's just me reading it. So now, if I got to come out and present it to somebody what I read, and that's another level of work. And to do that work, it crosses over into hours and weeks sometimes. So if a brother turn around and say, $9, $10 or something, like, come on, y'all, you know what I mean? I mean, come on. There's so much other stuff, we pay for and get nothing for. Like nothing. And don't nobody go screaming at them or nothing. We accept it with a smile. Like, I'm just saying, man, you go to Walmart, everything you buy up out of there cheap, and ain't nobody complaining. Ain't nobody going back to Walmart talking about, man, y'all got over on me. Uh, you stealing from me. You know, mm, but I just think it's a shame. You know what I mean? Like we got to stay focused on what's really getting after us. And them two brothers right there, come on, y'all, they ain't the one putting lead in water supplies. You know what I mean? They ain't the one coming up with the ingredients for the immunizations. Like that ain't them. And so at least from what I can tell, I mean, but sometimes I think we lose focus on who the real enemy is and what's really attacking us a lot of the time. So we tend to just grab hold of we got two black men, two intelligent, well spoken, well studied black men speaking about The system, how it operates, works against us. Speaking about health, mental health, physical health, uh, specifically for Black folks, promoting Black family and unity. Like that's what I see. You know what I mean? Like I really don't get caught up in all of those titles, doctor. I wouldn't care what it said on the man name if he speak the truth. I mean, the devil can even tell you the truth. I mean, you can't get too caught up on that. Of course, check the sources of your information, but at the same time, the information is the information. Truth gonna be what it is. So just a little random thought I was having. I don't eat up too much time, but like I said, leave a comment, tell me what you think. If you know some people that's suffering with white ass, and give me an example. I'm just saying. But all right, peace, y'all.